You ready to bike, Ryan?
Yes, I am ready to bike today. Day 2. I'm excited.
So it's a hot, sunny day here in eastern Spain. We've already gone about 20 kilometers. Ryan, Max, Mark, and I are cycling together, and Diana in our group is behind us. Yeah, the weather today is great. Again, we're on this like really nice bike path going down to the ocean, and yeah, it's been spectacular so far.
So we failed today at finding lunch here in Llagostera, I think it's called. So we are just eating whatever snacks we have hanging around until we get an actual real meal in the next destination. So we just made it to our final destination for day 2. We are staying tonight at a place called Costa del Sol, as you can see here. And another exciting thing is that we finally made it to the sea. So now tomorrow we'll be riding along the coast of the Mediterranean, which will be really exciting. So we just checked into our room here at Costa del Sol, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour. The spare bed here, 2 beds here, basic room, small TV, bathroom, and best of all, pool views. So Darren and I just finished up getting freshened up at the hotel, and now we took a walk down to the edge of the Mediterranean Sea here. And it's a beautiful day. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm not sure about the mic. So Darren and I just freshened up at the hotel, and we came out to explore the city a little bit, try to get some photos and some footage for our vlogs. And now we're on the never-ending hunt to find food. Why is it so difficult to find food in Spain? Still looking for food.
This town is like bustling, but there's no restaurants anywhere.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's still, I think it's still siesta hour, so it's super difficult.
It's 5 o'clock at night.
Yeah, there's an issue with that.
After bubble.
Bacon. Bacon queso, ¿no?
Bacon es tocino, ¿sí?
Sí.
Okay.
De cerdo, sí.
Well, we finally found food. We just finished up eating at La Marquesina. Food was decent for, I guess, what's available at the moment, which is not much due to the siesta hours. What'd you think, Darren?
I'm just gonna wait a little bit until meal number 2 a little bit later. That's
Yeah.
what I think. It wasn't enough for me.
Yeah, same. I need something else.
Have you heard of bicycletouringpro.com before?
What?
Have you heard of this website called bicycletouringpro? No. Oh, okay. How do you and I know each other?
Okay, it goes back a long way. We know each other for a long, long time now. Only online though. We knew each other virtually since probably 2012 or 2013. I think I began following your blog and I think when you were in Peru. And then we just kind of kept in touch, and I think we had similar interests like online entrepreneurship and, you know, kind of being nomads of sorts. And we both make our money online, so I think we had those interests, and we figured out, you know, let's do a tour together at some point, but we just could never coordinate it. So finally we coordinated it. So
Yeah, I should say Ryan did his own bike tour down the Pacific coasts of the United States. When was that?
2012. I rode from
2012.
Seattle to the border of Mexico. So.
Yeah, so you're not a bike touring newbie.
Not a newbie, but I'm not experienced by any means. I mean, it was the whole bike tour that I did was really just trial and error, and yeah, so I learned a lot on the trip, and you know, I haven't done it in 4 years now, so I was always looking forward to doing another tour in another country or, you know, somewhere different. But when I got the chance to do this 1 week tour, I said, yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. And like looking back on that Pacific Coast trip, like what was the highlight if you had to name one thing?
Riding with my best friend from childhood was really cool. I was originally going to go alone, and he said, you know, I have time before grad school, I can go with you, and I said, oh, that would be excellent. And it was great to ride with him and be able to share stories together and memories now, and we still actually talk about it. So I think that's probably the number one. Number two would be like, you know, going through Big Sur, which is like just incredibly challenging, but at the same time the scenery is just insane. And it's like, I think we did 2 70-mile back-to-back days to get through it because there's just nothing there, just camping and beautiful scenery. So I think Big Sur was probably one of my highlights.
Cool. Trying to think of other questions to ask you. What is Pause the Moment?
What is Pause the Moment? Pause the Moment is an adventure travel blog that I started back in 2008 when I went on my first backpacking trip to Europe. And when it really though kicked off was in 2010 when I quit my job to take a 6-month around the world trip and never went back home. So I've been on the road now for 6 years. So Pause the Moment is kind of just stories and adventures, and also travel tips from you know, again, trial and error, learning on the road. So
Cool.